Scientists say that an underwater eruption from the Italian supervolcano Campi Flegrei could generate a 100-foot tsunami that could severely impact densely populated coastal areas such as Pozzuoli and Sorrento. By modeling an offshore eruption at the active volcano located west of Naples, researchers demonstrated that a tsunami could pose a significant risk to the region. They believe the national emergency plan for Campi Flegrei should be updated accordingly. Because of the risk posed by Campi Flegrei, about 500,000 people live in the volcano's red zone. The Italian government has a national emergency plan for an eruption. However, this plan does not cover eruptions at sea. However, in a worst-case scenario, waves as high as 100 feet could hit the coast. If a large explosion occurs in the Gulf of Pozzuoli, our predictions indicate that the tsunami generated by the explosion will hit the coast with waves tens of meters high, said Martina Ulvrova from the Geophysical Institute at ETH Zurich. This would have a significant impact on the densely populated coastal areas of the Gulf of Pozzuoli, with its dense infrastructure, including homes, railway networks, restaurants, historic buildings, and more. Experts explain that this tsunami was not triggered by an earthquake, but by the sudden displacement of massive amounts of volcanic material underwater. The speed of the resulting waves could mean very short warning times, just minutes before they reach land. Besides Pozzuoli, the Naples region, an economic and tourist center, is also at risk of severe infrastructure damage. Major ports along the coast are at risk of being completely paralyzed by such extreme waves, which would ultimately disrupt logistics distribution in southern Italy. The researchers are currently concerned about the lack of preparedness in emergency plans. Current evacuation procedures focus solely on pyroclastic flows and rain, ash, without considering the threat of seawater invading residential areas on a large scale. The study also highlights the importance of installing more sophisticated underwater sensors around the Bay of Pozzuoli. This early detection technology is considered a crucial investment to give coastal residents more time to seek higher ground before the waves arrive. On the other hand, local communities are beginning to voice concerns about the lack of tsunami disaster simulations. Although they are accustomed to minor seismic activity, the threat from the sea presents a frightening new variable for residents living right on the coast. The Italian government is now being urged to immediately coordinate between volcanologists and civil protection experts. A revision to the National Emergency Plan is expected to include maps of vertical evacuation routes to more sturdy buildings or hilly areas around the red zone. Ultimately, awareness of the potential for disaster should not be used to incite panic, but rather as a realistic mitigation measure. Given Campi Flegrei's explosive geological history, thorough preparation is the only way to minimize casualties if the worst-case scenario does occur.